hearing damage. What could damage your hearing? Now that you understand the mechanism of hearing, you see all of the different areas where something could actually damage your hearing. First of all, listening to loud music can either damage the inner workings of your middle ear, or something in the cochlea can actually get overexcited with too much energy. Your eardrum can actually have a problem if there's too much sound energy moving it. So there's tons of different things that can damage your hearing. But let's talk about a couple things. Tinnitus is ringing in the ear in the absence of sound. How many people have gone to a loud concert, left the concert, and your ears are still ringing? That means you're starting to get some sort of hearing damage. Now, it's very interesting how your ears protect itself from damage as well. We'll get into that. So hearing loss can be caused by high exposure, a long exposure to high pressure sounds. And if it's a short amount of loud sound, it's not going to damage your hearing as much as if you're in a sustained environment with loud sound. One way that your ears protect itself, let's talk about your hearing briefly. Now, if you start getting too much sound pressure, your ear itself has muscles, and those muscles, to protect your hearing and protect your eardrum and your cochlea, start closing down your ear canal by squeezing tight. Right? As it squeezes tight, it allows less air and air movement to get to the eardrum. So you're actually protecting your hearing. So when you're listening to loud music too long and your ears start hurting, the muscles in your ears start cramping because they're closing down. This happens, what's the involuntary, right? It's an involuntary muscle contraction. So when that happens, it happens to protect your hearing. But if it's closed too long or it squeezes too long, too tightly, the muscles themselves start getting cramps. Just like if I hold my arm out, it's fine now, but 10 minutes I'm going to be really screaming. So it's the same sort of pain that you get in your ear when you hear loud music for too long of a sustained time. The first time when you start feeling pain, that is the signal for you to get out of that environment. Because what's going to happen is, after you feel pain for a moment, or depending on each individual, but after a period of time, what happens is these muscles cannot contain the contraction, and they start relaxing, right? And as they relax, you get too much sound pressure into your eardrum and start damaging your hearing. So when you feel pain, it doesn't mean you've damaged your hearing. That's the big signal for you to get out of that environment, and you're going to damage your hearing if you continue listening at that level. I know because I've listened to a lot of loud music in my lifetime, and I go to an ear doctor once a year and get my hearing checked. I don't know how many people have had their hearing checked, but it's really important because it's like getting your eyes checked. You know, you don't realize that it's shifting until you go to the doctor and he goes, "Can you read that?" "No." "I used to be able to," right? Just like your hearing. It shifts so subtly and so slowly that you don't realize you're losing certain hearing definition. This is a typical reason for damaging hearing, is listening in a loud environment too long. There are times when you start hearing ringing and buzzing and stuff like that in your hearing. It obviously has to do with something in the cochlea, creating that kind of a nerve feeding the brain. And it could be chemical, it could be mechanical, it could be a lot of different reasons. But a lot of hearing damage is caused because of loud music. And I was always told that when I was a kid, and naturally what I used to do, instead of having headphones back, when I was like in 6th grade, I used to take 2 stereo speakers and point them together and put my head in the middle and turn it up. So it's a wonder I don't have hearing damage. I used to listen so loud. And now that I understand the mechanism of hearing, we should all understand why loud music sounds better. Does everybody agree that loud music sounds better? That's why people like to go to concerts, because it's loud, you feel it, you hear it, you put on your headphones, you turn them up, it sounds better when you turn them up. It always does. Why? Because you're getting more energy through the ear canal to the eardrum, which the low frequencies then are able to penetrate deeper into the cochlea. So you're able to hear more low frequencies, more energy directly aimed at the eardrum. But then it can get damaging if you listen too loud too long, because, of course, anything that's good, you keep doing it more and more and more. I want more and more and more, and you get used to it. And then eventually you turn it up so loud that you actually damage your hearing. I was running sound for a band years ago now, And where I was standing was in front of one of these huge stacks of speakers, and it got so loud that this ear was ringing for about a week. I went to the ear doctor to make sure I didn't really damage my hearing, because I thought, oh, I really damaged my hearing. Now I'm going to be like Beethoven, you know. And I went to the ear doctor, and he said, no, you didn't damage it, but you're always going to be sensitive on that side. If you listen to loud music too long, you're going to be more sensitive. It's going to get fatigued a lot quicker. So ear fatigue can happen. And so when we talk about mixing, we're always talking about mixing at a reasonable level. They usually say about 70 decibels, 80 decibels is a good level so you don't damage your hearing. Now, a lot of people mix on headphones. Headphones are not good to mix on, not good at all, because it's too tempting to turn them up, number one. And number two, everything sounds better on headphones because you have perfect isolation from ear to ear. When you listen to speakers, some of the sound from this side goes to this ear, and it's not perfectly imaged. When you're on headphones, it's perfect. Left is going to left, right is going to right, and it's a wider positioning. So it always sounds better. So it's very difficult to mix on headphones. They make a software that simulates what a real speaker system does, and what it does is it bleeds some of the sound from one ear to the other and vice versa. And it's just a simulation. I don't think that they've gotten it down well yet, and it's always better to just listen on speakers. I know if you got neighbors, they're going to be upset if you turn it up too loud, but keep it down, but listen on speakers.